Well, after quite a few years now and however many movies of making films about, and usually delusional dudes coming to realize that they've been wrong about everything. I really felt I had this very strong urge to make a movie about a woman, at first a woman, but particularly a woman with just a big personality, and presented herself. And in a way that was so exciting for me, there's the big personality, but also underneath it is a really unbelievably, I think, important story about a kind of relationship that is behind so many closed doors all over the world, and relationships that can turn really lethally perilous very quickly. And I really do genuinely believe that I wanted to understand it. I wanted to understand how those relationships work, and I kind of, I wanted to, I think more people should.
Well, I have to admit, at first I was very nervous because, she's right there, and I'm portraying her, and you want to make sure that it's a huge weight on your shoulders because she is such an inspiring, incredible woman, and I wanted to do justice by her. So first I was really nervous, but then after you spend time with Christy and you get to know her and you get close with her, you want her around all the time. Like, I kept texting her, like, when are you going to come visit the set? When are you going to come back? And I loved having her presence there. The crew loved having her presence there. We all really enjoyed her energy and her spirit, and just having her to be able to ask questions and having her support, listening to her cheer me on while we're fighting during some scenes. And it was a really beautiful bond that then happened as time went on.
I think, can I butt in?
Yeah, of course.
I think it was a really nerve-wracking experience for her too. It's just like she's I think unsurprisingly, she was wary of the whole Hollywood machine and blah, blah, blah. And, Mira and I was, and where it started with our producer, Kerry, but Mira and I, two Australians, she doesn't know us. She was surrendering herself to a process, and I think that was very nerve-wracking for her. But I don't know if you remember that first day she came up to set and she walked in cautiously, and the whole crew just spontaneously burst into applause. And I think she knew from that moment on that she had people who cared about her story working on this thing.
I absolutely loved it. I truly felt Christy's power as I transformed, and I really enjoyed being able to train and work with incredible boxing coaches and weight trainers and nutritionists that helped me get to the place that I was for Christy.
I read the script. I'm a fan of Dave's work. I'm a fan of Sid's. The story was not something I was aware of, and then started watching. I saw the documentary on Netflix, and it's like, oh great, get it, coercive control. Yay! Another movie my mom can see. But then you get the opportunity to expose those things that David was just talking about, and it is a crime in the UK, coercive control, and people suffer silently behind closed doors who do not have the career and the will to survive that Christy Martin does. I'd say I was intimidated coming to set, because when Christy saw me, she stopped and walked out the door. And it was that way for the entire shoot. So it's a strange way to feel in service, to tell this tale and support such a ferocious performance that Sid delivers. And it's an important conversation. So I was glad to be an element in that.
Did it weigh heavy on you personally?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Relationships are dangerous, and sometimes you don't know it's dangerous until it's already happening. So, it felt very important that we honored that progression.
David and I talked about that. He called me once. He blessed me with this opportunity. He called and we talked about that. We have to make sure that he's not outsized. We're not doing caricature. We're not doing an impression of the man has to be, you know, fully realized. And Don is a larger than life human being, and any actor worth his salt wants to play that, you know. He just has a very unique way of engaging people, and no filter, you know, and straight to the point. And if he likes you, he likes you. If he don't, he don't. You know, and you gonna know. You will know. So it was a lot of fun.
I love that. First of all, though, I want to ask you about actually punching each other for real.
I wasn't aware that was going to happen. I thought it was a strange way to do it, but to each their own, I guess. Yeah, I came on injured already, so I was like, just so like, why is this happening?
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
It's all for the art. Long felt.
But yeah, I mean, like, if everybody's got their different way of doing things. No, I didn't have any bruises. Yeah, so good for that, because I was literally going to another movie like right after. So my big thing was, I was like, please just don't break my nose.
Yeah.
That's all I was like. If you break my nose, I'm gonna be so mad. So I did not get a broken nose. So
And that's
check
all.
that
That's
box.
all Sydney wanted to do.
Was break my
Just
nose?
break people's noses.
I didn't want to break your nose.
No, yeah.
That was like your first thing you said. After
Very
we trained for the
specific.
first day, we were like, okay, you cannot break
Yeah,
my
I
nose.
was like, do not do it. It was the best response that you could get. And the thing that was so important, I think, for all of us is that Christy and Lisa were there, and that they loved the film, and they appreciated their portrayals in the movie. And that's like, to me, that's one of the biggest things. And then when I was watching, this is my first time watching it. And something that when I'm looking at it, it shows the slippery slope of domestic violence as well. And so it's like one of those things where, coercive control and all of that. It's one of those things where I don't think people realize that they're in it often. And I think when you watch this movie, if you are in a situation like that, you'll see it and relate to it. And so I think that's just so very important. So it's not a boxing movie. This movie is about so much more. And I think that the audience was, even people that didn't know what they were walking into, walked away with a greater understanding, not only of just who Christy was, but just of relationships and you know, hopefully an awakening as well.
Well, for me, it was just being able to see Christy on stage and everybody standing up and cheering for her. I feel like just that moment, I can only imagine like watching her life unfold in front of you, and then people being moved and inspired, and just I'm incredibly proud of this woman. She's gone through so much, and to see her just stand there, I barely could speak. It was crazy, but just everything that Katie said, it's honestly true. Like, this story is more than just a boxing story. It's perseverance. It's so much. So it's just incredible that we were all able to kind of be a vessel for Christy.